I will say to you that I'm very honored to be here. I know I'm in a tight time window, so I'll try to make this brief. But this is my first keynote speech. I've done an awful lot of sessions at these things, including here a little over a year ago, but most of the time my experience has been where you are. I've been sitting in an audience. I may have been at one of these with students. So I'm honored to be in the company of the many folks to whom I've listened and from whom I've learned and with whom I've laughed, in addition to the people who preceded me up here today, and that would include Meredith. In many of those speeches, I heard about the careers of renowned journalists. I heard the experiences of seasoned columnists. I heard from reporters, and I heard about the trials and tribulations of covering difficult events and the challenges of world travel, the flotsam and jetsam and journeys of great journalists and teachers. And they inspired me, and they energized me, and they taught me. Good journalists should strive to get the news first and to get it right, to be fair and concise, to ask tough questions, to expose corruption, to always follow the money, to comfort the afflicted, and to afflict the comfortable, to make deadline, to connect with readers, to tell a good story. But they were the right speeches to give at that time. But that time isn't today. Today, journalism is in a different place, different from the place it was in when I was here last February. Since that time, newspapers have closed in Denver and Seattle. The McClatchy Company, the third largest newspaper company in the U.S., has laid off close to 4,500 workers. Perhaps you have read about the struggles at the Boston Globe and the furloughs at Gannett, the buyouts and the layoffs. And it's not just newspapers, though you read about them the most, because nobody covers their own death better than newspaper folks. But radio and TV are also struggling. Perhaps it is time to paraphrase a famous author by saying, "This is the worst of times." That's hardly news, nor very inspiring. But I also believe, to continue that paraphrase, that it is the best of times. Those of you sitting in this room, you're at the beginning of an evolution. It's the industrial age for media. This isn't what it was like when I first began working with journalism and teaching aspiring journalists. Right after the world dried out following the Great Flood, you remember the one where it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, I took a teaching job as a newspaper advisor. And part of that first job, and as part of my first job, and I had enough college journalism credits to make me dangerous. Remember, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing? Well, one thing led to another, and first there was newspaper, and then there was yearbook, and then there was photojournalism. And while the technology changed rapidly, the medium really didn't. From typewriters to computers to PageMaker and Photoshop, my students and I rode the technology bullet while producing pretty much traditional journalism. Some pretty great journalism, at least great enough to win some state and some national awards, but still traditional. The newspaper folks were the newspaper folks, and the yearbook folks were the yearbook folks. And the photogs were the photogs, and maybe in a place all by themselves. And broadcast was something that you did at the technology center. Suffice it to say that the career I envisioned for myself wouldn't have landed me here today. Today we have the internet and instant news updates. Today we have MySpace and Facebook and Twitter. Today professional newspaper journalists compete not just with local TV or radio stations, but with the guy with the iPhone who was on the bridge when it collapsed and who sent out his photos or his video over YouTube or posted them to Facebook. But today, as I said earlier, may be the scariest and most exciting day of my life with media. To that end, there's good news, offered in a short version of 25 random things about me. My five random thoughts on media. I think today is the most exciting time for the news industry in my lifetime. Nothing beats a good news story, whether in print, in broadcast, in audio, or some combination of all of those things. The world needs great storytellers. The world needs critical thinkers, and high school journalism matters. It always has, and it always will. Working on student publications and in broadcast opportunities develops your critical thinking, helps your grades, helps you to score higher on standardized tests, helps you to become more civically engaged as young adults. High school journalism is the superfood of your curriculum. Embrace change no matter how difficult. Learn how to write. Learn how to shoot. Learn how to record. Take a business course, a computer course. To succeed in today's media, it will really be more than ever the more you know. This too shall pass. Change is painful, uncomfortable, and causes loss. But it's our blood, our history. Where would we be without change? Speaking the Queen's English and being citizens of the Commonwealth of Great Britain? Be thankful that the passage of time drives change and look forward to the other side. It won't be long before you can't imagine journalism any other way.